Welcome to Empowered Implants that tell us success stories from the field. It's the implant track headliner session. It's a panel format. In May, implants voted for which successful implants they wanted to see on the panel and submitted questions they wanted the panelists to answer about their operation. Implant managers wanted to know what makes these operations successful, how they handle a changing landscape, and what's on the horizon for them. I'll introduce each panelist, who will each then take a few minutes to tell you a little bit about their operation so you have an idea of what their viewpoint is. And several of them have even created a short video, which I'll play for you, to show you a little bit inside their implant. From there, we'll go right to the burning questions you have for these implant leaders. Each panelist will have an opportunity to address their question before we move on to the next question. And after the panel questions have all been answered, if there's time, we'll open the floor for a Q&A. We have, I believe it's 8 questions in total. I think we're going to have a lively and informative session. I've certainly learned a lot talking to these implant leaders, and I believe that you will as well. So here's our agenda. We just did the welcome. I'm going to tell you a little bit about each of the panelists. They'll do their overviews, we'll do the questions, we'll have a Q&A, and then we'll close the session. Our panelists represent 4 major verticals: higher ed, government, healthcare, and insurance. Together, they employ almost 150 people, and they print a whopping 192 million impressions annually. To my immediate left is Jimmy Friend. He's Director of University of North Texas Printing and Distribution Solutions, PDS, University of North Texas in Denton, Texas. Known as the top quality implant operation, UNT has won 54 awards in the past 9 years, including the 2012 Imprint Best of Show Award in the non-offset category. They've won 3 Best of Shows and most recently won 5 PIA awards. Next to him is Debbie Gallagher. She's Senior Operations Analyst, Department of Administrative Services, DAS, for Publishing and Distribution Department of the State of Oregon. The State of Oregon is the 4th largest government implant in the United States. To her left is Gene Volker. He's Manager of Supply Chain and Business Services for Parkview Health. Parkview is a nonprofit. They're also Northeast Indiana's largest healthcare provider and one of the region's largest employers. And finally is Phil Larson. He's former Director of AF Press and Graph Accent of American Fidelity, an insurance firm based in Oklahoma City. He's now President of Shepherd Consulting OK. Phil is a frequent conference speaker, and he'll be doing a session this afternoon and tomorrow. So now we'll go to each of the leaders. They'll tell you a little bit about their operation. And then for Jimmy, we have a short video that will play in his second slide. Jimmy.
Okay. First, I want to ask, how many of you guys voted for me? Because I got a bone to pick with you. So, no, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. No, I'm very glad to be here, and hopefully I can share some information about our implant that will help you guys. If at any time afterwards you can come up to me and we can discuss anything. I'm always excited to share information with anybody about implants and what we do at the University of North Texas. The University of North Texas, it's a campus of 37,000 students, 6,000 faculty staff. We're the 4th largest university in the state of Texas. We're the 26th largest university in the country. So it tells you about the scope of the university itself. We service our main campus in Denton, Texas, as well as 3 other sister campuses in the North Texas region, as well as 5 state agencies in our area of the state. And we do in-source work from other universities as well, community colleges as well as universities in our area. Over the years, we've evolved from a department that was being considered for outsourcing in 1994 to being recognized as an outstanding service department for the university in the years 1999, 2003, 2007, and just recently in 2011. So we've made a total turnaround since 1994. Previous to that time, they were the outstanding service department as far back as 1982. So from 1982 to 1999, 17-year time frame there. The service had had really gone downhill in quality as well. So for us to turn that around was quite an accomplishment, and I have a great team that helped me in doing that. We're made up of 4 units. We have a print offset unit. We also, we have a full creative design. We have offset equipment. We have HP Indigos. We have a full bindery. We have online orders that come in, with about 35% of our work coming in online. We do have a promo store in part of that area that we sell promo items in small amounts instead of somebody having to go buy bulk promo items for the university, as well as we sell apparel, UNT branded apparel for the university campus. Now, we compete against the bookstores, which they don't like that too much, but we only sell to departments. And if you ever try to buy branded apparel at a university bookstore, you know it's marked up quite a bit. So we help the staff and faculty there on campus to show our branding and proper branding on the apparel by keeping that price down to a minimum. We also have what our digital print center we call Eagle Images. We're the Eagles, the Fighting Eagles, or some of us are known as Mean Green, but we're really the Fighting Eagles. And so we call ourselves Eagle Images. We have 2 retail centers for students. We have a production center for the departments. Our mail services, we handle all outgoing first-class standard mail and packages, as well as we deliver all incoming mail to 175 mail stops throughout the campus twice per day. And then the big thing for us is we have a fulfillment center we call Recruiting Materials Distribution Center, and we partnered with admissions and enrollment marketing to expedite materials that prospective students request out of that location, where previous it was done by the departments. They were doing a bad job of it, and we centralized it in our operation, so we print a lot of that on demand through our HP Indigos and send that out on a very timely basis to the prospective students. We produce about over 9,000 projects a year for departments. We handle about 25,000 or more student projects through our Eagle Images copy operations. We mail over 5 million pieces of mail per year, and on the recruiting fulfillment side, we process over 250,000 individual requests for materials about our university. We're 37 FTEs at present. We fluctuate between 35 and 40 and 10 students. Our budget is just over $5 million. We are a cost recoverable department, so that's pretty well what we do.
I'll just show you a quick 1-minute video about his operation. Thank you, Jimmy. Next up is Phil Larson. He's going to give us a few slides about his philosophy in operations.
All right, I'm going to talk a little bit about the plan at American Fidelity. That 2 million pages of color that we do a month is the mean. You know, everybody has averages. That's the mean. Last month, the operation did 8 million pages of color. It's not uncommon to have 4 or 6 million based on different clients, serving as an in-plant for 6 different companies. So it's not just a single company. In 8 years, gone from 10,000 pages of color a month to those numbers, 34 million pages last year. So it was a complete resourcing. In the beginning, everything was outsourced. We also do the transactional printing, which was in the 4 million. Transactional printing is running down at about a 40% a year rate, and the color on demand is running up at about a 40% rate. So replacing the work with a completely different type of product and service to the clients. We were doing multi-channel marketing under Graph Accent, all for other companies on a commercial basis. One of the top multi-channels in our region, quite interesting, out of an in-plant. So just some fun things that we like to do and get out and expand the capabilities. There's only 17 people doing that, 24 hours a day, 3 shifts. Typical operator runs 3 to 6 machines. Extremely operated. The ordering system is connected to the production system, is connected to the distribution system, is connected online. We have customers with 28 different locations, 28 different views of what they see, completely aggregated and collected by their security, their access, their requirements. Another customer had 25 different locations. So a lot going on, anywhere from 100 to 400 orders a day. During peak, it can be to 600 to 800 orders a day. 50% delivered within the same 8-hour shift. So it never stops. It's a great operation. Very, very proud of those people. It is a mix of Xerox and HP equipment, primarily Xerox when it comes to digital, HP when it comes to wide format, Canon when it comes to the distributed. I don't have the distributed numbers in there. Actually, our distributed numbers are around 1 million a month. So we support the copiers, printers, faxes throughout several different companies, and that's integrated. Their orders don't come through that system, but we track it, monitor it, and integrate it, so some things are printed right by the customer's desk, and then some things go into the production center, and we consider that cooperative relationship extremely important. So there's 3 things that I wanted to get across today. You're not going to see a video. You're just going to hear from me for about a couple of seconds. Thriving implants are extremely sticky, and there's 3 adaptations that they need to make on a consistent basis to stay thriving, and these are things that any business would do. The first thing is to adapt what she got me up on. Adapt your staff, adapt your products and services, and adapt your communications. When you're adapting your staff, think about raising up others. I recently left American Fidelity. 7 people got promotions. So they were in place, trained, ready to go, so that I could do something else so that they could come up. Always raise up others. Replace yourself and reinforce your service constantly. You've got people in your staff who can do more, who are capable, who are just waiting for the right opportunity, and they might be the next shining star in a service that you have. Some of my creatives were the ones that figured out how to integrate variables with print, variables with landing pages, variables with email to make it all work. They'd never done it before. They weren't programmers, but their creativity enabled them to expand that product line to many different customers. Second thing you want to adapt is your products and services. Your customers are constantly changing what they want, how they want it. We put wide format in last year. We had resisted it for about 3 years, finally told the customers, okay, we'll do it. Now it never stops. It runs 8 hours a day producing banners and posters. I'm going, what happened? We had this pin-up market that we didn't realize was as big as it is. So adapt it, expand into collateral services, engage customization, expect challenges. 100% of what we do in on-demand is customized. It's customized to where it's going, who the market is. There's just not any static type print that's coming out of that on-demand anymore. It's really interesting. 8 years ago, it was all static, it was all outsourced, and 50% of it was going in the trash can at the end of a 6-month period due to changes. Now it's only printed when it's needed. And then the third adaptation is adapt your communications. You've got to market to the C-suite. As an in-plant, you may never talk to the president, you may never talk to the CMO, you may, but you need to market to them anyway. You need to put your materials together for whoever is going to talk to them in a language that they can understand. We'll talk a little bit more about that in the next 2 sessions this afternoon and tomorrow. You need to market the influencers. There's 800-pound gorillas out in your organization. Then you need to know who they are, what their language is, and talk to them differently than you talk to the C-suite with the same message. So you got to become a marketer as an implant today to stay thriving, to stay sticky. I'm carrying these little glue sticks around with me to remind me over the next couple of days, you got to stay sticky. Everybody's always looking for something new. We're in this commodity market today. So the customers, we just kept expanding our customer base, expanding our customer base, expanding our customer base, so the 800-pound gorillas weighed less. And we had a few 200-pound gorillas and 300-pound gorillas. And keep adapting communications to your staff. Your staff may not understand the financials the way the C-level needs to understand your financials. The influencers may not care about your financials. They just want to care about their service. The customers just want to know what's going on. So it's a constant adaptation of communications, which is one of the things that helped us grow and continue to thrive and continue to prosper and continue to stay sticky in everything we're doing. I hope I did that quick enough.
And his results speak for themselves.
Hi, I'm Gene Volker. Thanks for having me. I came to the printing services in the usual way. I spent 10 years in international business, and then I became a finance guy for the hospital, and then in 2006 ended up in printing services. So that's kind of my journey here. We have 18 positions. The first bullet point right away brands me as a healthcare guy. We're all about the FTEs, the full-time equivalents, and even with counseling, we can't move away from that philosophy. But in the printing department, we have 7.1 people, and I'm also over postal services and records management, and we do have an outsourced courier system as well that I'm over. So 13.5 people is 18 positions, and then 4 of the people have 2 positions, so it's actually 14 people. We do about 50 million, what we measure in is impression equivalents. 50% of our business is the impression itself, and then 50% is the add-on services. And I'll talk a little bit more what those are. We do about, we use an online order system, and we have 1,800 people that order online, and that probably represents 90+% of our customers. And we do around 27,000 jobs annually, and 99% of our work is on demand. About 1% is inventory. In 2005, it was almost the opposite. So we've really moved a long distance in a short time. On our services, I think we do pretty typical things, the bindery work and lamination, variable data. We have typesetting, our own designer, design and consulting. And then our equipment with black and white, color, digital, duplicator, envelope press, and then our bindery equipment is fairly typical. Software, we use Digital Storefront as our online order entry system. And we use InDesign, Illustrator, Fusion Pro, Fiery Central, and a numbering software for prescriptions and for making tickets, that type of thing. Photoshop, and then Crystal Reports. And then I have just a real short video that kind of gives you an overview of our print shop. Hi, I'm Gene Volker from Parkview Health in Fort Wayne, Indiana. Over the next minute, you'll see a brief overview of our implant. I think that you'll see that although it's nice, our printing equipment is fairly ordinary. What are not ordinary are our results. Our production has increased by almost 98% since 2006. The number of orders has increased by 184% during that same time. This year alone, we are expected to grow 25 to 30%. All this good news is happening during a recession and an extended overall printing industry turndown. We have also seen significant growth in postal services and started a new records management and retention business in 2010, which is already producing a phenomenal return and higher level service. When times are difficult, implants are uniquely positioned to add value and bring cost reduction to their organization. You know your organization better and care more about its success than any outside vendor. We have focused on aligning our people, processes, and technology to innovate and serve our organization the best way possible and bring real value.
And finally, Debbie Gallagher from the state of Oregon.
Hello, I'm very glad to be here and see you all. and get a chance to talk to you a little bit about what we have going on in Oregon. We are the publishing distribution program for the state, the centralized provider of printing and mailing services. We also provide the state's shuttle system. I've been with P&D for about 15 years, and I'm really proud of how we've developed in that time. P&D was born from the merger of the state printer's office and the state mailing operation. We've gone through a lot of transition in that time, moving from an operation that was primarily offset to one that is totally digital now, also moving from having about 150 employees to about 86 now. We're in a large facility. It's about 70,000 square feet. We try to use as much of it as possible. You know that story about if there's a space, something will come in and fill it. So we have about 1,500 people we touch on a regular basis, and that's through all of our services. We provide not only printing, but we have online ordering, we have design services, bindery, graphic services, variable data design, the finishing operation, production, mail, and then, as I mentioned before, the shuttle system that runs up and down the I-5 corridor. Our annual budget is about $15 million. Between about $2.5 million of that is for postage that we front for our customers. We have a lot of our customers prepay their postage now. To give you an idea of how much we're talking about, it used to be $25 million a biennium that we spent on postage. So now we have those folks pay most of that ahead of time. Our printing mix is about 7 million impressions a month, but that comes from mainframe. We are the state's mainframe printer, so we deliver to people of Oregon and some people out of state their vehicle license, titles, renewals, medical IDs, healthcare information. We print the checks. The printing the checks and the titles is pretty important because we have a very secure facility. The way we take care of the secure documents is they're printed in a secure room, and then as they're moved through our processes, they're locked in cages. And then if they're going to be mailed, we take them to the post office. If they're one of the pieces that are going to be delivered on our shuttle system, which makes about 550 stops a day from Portland through Eugene, then we also have secure delivery on those trucks. We call it pack track. We can track our packages that we send out to our customers, but even more importantly, this is a browser-based service. So if Jimmy wanted to send a secure package to Gene, he can do that from his own office, fills out the label, sticks it on, we pick it up with our trucks, and then we deliver it next day. And we do that for $3. So anybody's ever looked for next day delivery, for one thing, you're looking at about 15, but to get secure next day delivery for $3, you've got a real bargain. And that's sort of what we're about. We're about saving the state money, about making life easier for state agencies, and doing the right thing. We have, like I said, all digital printers now. We have a very advanced production mail operation. So we have a very large optical character reader so we can do the pre-sort. We run about 2.3 million pieces of mail through that sorter every month. The neat thing about that is that we're saving about $50 million a biennium, not 50, excuse me, $5 million a biennium on postage for state agencies. That benefit goes to small agencies who would not be able to get it on their own because they have small volumes of mail, and then the large agencies that could get it. We commingle it all. We save everybody money. We also like to think we coined the phrase print to post about 1996. where we got into variable data printing and the concept that we could combine digital printing, variable data, and mailing and save people money. We have partners in this operation. When we transitioned out of the offset business, that equipment went to corrections industry, so now those folks do our 1 and 2 color large run jobs that we don't do. And then we also have a cadre of about 200 private vendors that we will contract with if we can't do the work in-house. And our whole idea is to save people money, make life easier for them, and do the right thing. And I'm really proud to be part of this organization. It's worked very hard, it has amazing people, and have a little video to show you a little bit about what we do there. What does it take to become a first-class implant? Well, for starters, it takes people. It takes commitment. It takes a vision. And it takes a customer-centric approach to doing business with an eye towards technology. And above all else, it takes getting a quality product to the customer on time in the manner that makes the most sense, in a way that benefits the customer and the enterprise as a whole. Saying that the State of Oregon Publishing and Distribution Program provides printing, mailing, and delivery services to state agencies and political subdivisions is a little bit like saying Jaws was a big fish. There's so much more to the story. So P&D goes to the core of the customer's problems and comes up with solutions that make sure that the customer gets exactly what they want. And then we take the solution and the knowledge and we spread it across the whole enterprise so that everybody can benefit from those solutions. And while we are in the business of publishing and mailing and distributing things, we also have to remember that we're in the business of human services, health services, employment, fish and wildlife, watercraft, vehicle registration, hunt licenses, accounting, budgeting, and the list just goes on and on. The point is that our services keep state government running so that agencies are able to focus on their core missions. So what are our services? Well, they include project coordination, graphic and variable data design, pre-flighting, so we get your files ready to print. We also do offset print buyouts if you need that. We do digital variable data, job data, and mainframe print. We also have a bindery with lots of finishing options and a full-scale mail production operation that includes smart inserting and pre-sort. The big part about the pre-sorting is it saves state government about $250,000 a month. And in addition to that, we have a delivery service that goes up and down the I-5 corridor. And one of our newest services is an overnight secure delivery service that can be accessed via a browser. So we do much more than just print and mail. And our biggest secret to success is that we do it all from one location under the philosophy that coordinated, consolidated services provides the best benefit for the state and for the agencies served.